Hey everyone, Lou here. If you're new here, I love Hoyoverse games. Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail are my babies. Even if these days I prefer Honkai Star Rail over Genshin. Yeah, I know there's one other Hoyoverse game I haven't played. Yes, there's Honkai Impact 3rd, which isn't happening because that story is way too fucking complicated for my dumb baby brain. And Zenless Zone Zero. So, let's check out Zenless Zone Zero. Zenless Zone Zero is the fourth, I think, gacha game from Hoyoverse. The game right from the get-go was a bit controversial because of its overwhelming visuals and, personality. However, it's gotten better praise lately for its story and better approach to characters as more than just a crush on the main character, and stories feeling more personal as it focuses more on one character at a time, rather than introducing multiple characters who may not contribute much. The other criticism seems to be the mobile version's lagging is horrendous, but I feel like that's every mobile game for Hoyoverse. I tried playing Genshin on my phone during a vacation when I was grinding for Kazuha's first banner, and let me tell you, I felt like my phone was gonna explode. Quick warning though, that this game does have a lot of flashing lights, so please be careful if you suffer from epilepsy or have health issues where you can't look at flashing images for too long. Anyway, let's see if this is just Nikke with some guys in there, or an actually good game. And yes, I know Nikke is actually a pretty decent story, but, you know, I wanted to make that joke. Wise and Bell are siblings and are illegal Hollow investigators called proxies going under the alias Faithin. Hollows is the one thing I feel isn't explained very well, but I think it's sort of a pocket parallel data thing. Think like the digital world in Digimon, or even a beach in Death Stranding. Is it too obscure to use as examples? Well, that's the best I got from piecing this shit together myself. To be fair, the loading screens do explain it, but I missed the text because my game loaded too quickly. Okay, so from there, Wise and Bell work together with Hollow Hunters groups to uncover a conspiracy within their world or country of New Eridu, through each case they take on. Pretty simple, but the game has some pretty shocking twists you don't see coming, even with some pretty good foreshadowing. You can also hang out with some of the characters you meet from these groups. My favorite Hollow Hunters, or whatever faction, is the Victoria Housekeeping Company, because I love that they're maids and references to classic horror movie monsters. Something about that is so cool. I would love to cosplay Corinne in a heartbeat, or Deadbeat, since I think she's supposed to be Frankenstein's monster. My other favorite is Mockingbird because Hugo is literally the entire reason I picked up this game like the dork I am. And I think Vivian's design is just stunning. Though the actual year this is all set in is very, very vague. It's clearly a sci-fi with a mix of late 90s aesthetics like VHS tapes, tube TVs, and chokers. Though I can't lie, the nostalgia is there. I have fond memories of watching movies on the family VHS player, and I recently bought a VHS tape of The Thief and the Cobbler at an antique mall because it's kind of rare and I love that movie's recobbled cut to pieces. I also just like that all the characters have their own work they do when you meet them. It's never just them standing around flocking to you, but you meeting them in the middle of work, shopping, or just eating lunch. It feels more natural and it makes the characters feel less like dating sim option. Even though some definitely were made for fan service in mind, it's not like Nikke levels where I don't think I can show you half the characters, but you know, it's got its nickname as a you-know-what game for a reason. Sorry, I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube or not. But yeah, the story is actually really fun and I like it a lot. Except Soldier 11, her stories are just really boring since I'm not a military person. I've seen this gameplay described as a lot of things with a lot of inspirations. The main ones are Devil May Cry, Kingdom Hearts, and I think another action game, but I swear I legit can't remember what. Now, I've never played a Devil May Cry game, so unfortunately I can't really say how similar the gameplay is, but they're definitely both fast-paced combat with badass music in the background, so that's a for sure thing. I'd say more Kingdom Hearts personally because a lot of the combat reminds me of Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3. It's got this kind of slippy, fast-paced action to it, but the difference in Catcher here is that you have a team of 3 that you switch between using the spacebar to use their skills or combat. The combat types are also a little confusing, but basically it's similar to Honkai Star Rail minus a healer class. Yeah, this game has no healer class, which I think makes sense since the main mechanic is to dodge rather than take hits like Honkai Star Rail or Genshin. Still though, I think a healer would add for some interesting gameplay in the future, but that's just me. After 3,000 hit points though, you activate your ultimate instead of an energy-like thing in Genshin or Honkai Star Rail, though sometimes I feel like the animation is just a smidge too long for a game trying to be fast-paced, you know? Another thing is definitely the flashing from lightning characters and ether characters like Anby, Nicole, and Rena. Like, Anby's ultimate flashes way too much. Like, Anby's ultimate has this flash that's just like really bad, even someone for me who doesn't have a sensitivity to it, and it can be overstimulating as a game depending on the enemy and game mode. Once you get the hang of it though, I think the game can be really fun and makes you feel like you're in some sort of super OP anime, which I think is the point. And like, they give you tons of tutorials and explain everything, but when you're dumb and everything is fast paced, you know, shit still gets confusing, so just keep that in mind. Though when it comes to drop rates, it definitely feels a lot worse than any of the other Hoyoverse games. Yes, it tells you how many until you're guaranteed a 4-star and up, but being guaranteed a 5-star feels a lot smaller of a drop rate than, let's say, Honkai Star Rail as an example, which, let me tell you, it was hell getting Hugo with only a week left, but damn right I managed to get him because when I love a male Hoyoverse character, my man will come home. The game also takes heavy inspiration from Persona 3 through 5 and having a day-night cycle for quests, and walking around the small map or town, interacting with the locals. Considering I love the shit out of Persona 4 and 5, this was actually really awesome. It kind of makes the world feel more alive. Especially on 6th Street, it really does feel like a small city district on the outskirts of a big city. You'll sometimes spot characters doing their own thing too, like having coffee, buying ramen, or buying some music. Overall, while the game is super confusing to understand at first, you get the hang of it and you end up having a lot of fun with it. Though some of the drop rates are pretty bad, but they do give you a free character to build off of, so nothing has felt pay to win so far. And for the first anniversary, they're letting you pick a 5-star of your choice. If you want my recommendation, pick Lycon. Going in, you know, I thought this would be like Nikke, where there's boobs everywhere and I gotta go through 100 booty and jiggle physics before I get to a good story. But you know, I actually ended up really liking Zenless Zone Zero despite all the criticisms against it. The characters are fun and well written for the most part. The environments are really nice. The gameplay ends up feeling satisfying, and honestly, I think I'll really enjoy picking up now and then. I'm not fully finished with the story, but if I spent an entire weekend playing through it, you know this shit's fun, dudes. You can play Zenless Zone Zero on mobile devices, PS5, Xbox, and PC. Though keep in mind that mobile versions aren't that great and are honestly pretty laggy from what I read online. I didn't personally try it on my tablet, but I just know this shit would probably make either my phone or tablet explode, since Honkai Star Rail nearly blew up my tablet once. For any Nintendo fans out there, Hoyoverse games I don't think are ever getting ported to the Switch, as the Switch doesn't really have a system for gacha games. At least that's just my 2 cents. What do you guys think of Zenless Zone Zero though? Who's your favorite character? Something tells me everyone's might be Jane Doe for her personality, but my favorites are Hugo and Bernice. What can I say? I love a vampire-coated man and an extroverted, unhinged girly pop. You guys let me know down below what you think. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. And if any old or new subs would like to help support my channel in any possible way, my Ko-fi page is down below in the description, along with links to all of my social media tabs. For any subscribers, new or old, who'd like to help with video ideas, or maybe just want to talk about anime or something with some like-minded people, I have a fan server link down below. See you next time!